It's 3 a.m., and the world outside remains cloaked in a suffocating darkness. In your home, the silence feels unbearably heavy, pressing down on you like an invisible weight. You toss and turn, your mind a relentless whirlwind of thoughts that won't let you find solace. The familiar sting of panic creeps in, wrapping around your chest like a vice. Why can't you escape this overwhelming feeling of dread? There's that nagging thought, as persistent as the shadows in your room. Another credit card bill looms, another paycheck evaporated before it even reached your weary hands. The weight of financial shame crushes you, a silent burden that seems heavier every day. Just as you manage to close your eyes, seeking a moment of reprieve, the suffocating silence is shattered by the soul-crushing beep of your card being declined. It's a jarring sound that triggers a sense of panic. Your heart races as you imagine the judgmental looks from the cashier, their eyes boring into you like daggers, dissecting the choices that led you here. You are not just embarrassed, you are humiliated, stripped of the dignity you once took for granted. You feel like a prisoner of financial slavery, shackled by past decisions that serve as constant reminders of your failures. The world expects you to navigate adulthood with grace and poise, but instead you find yourself drowning in a relentless tide of anxiety that gnaws at your conscience. Do you feel it? It gets worse. The torment heightens with every scroll through social media, where everyone else seems to be living their best life. Luxury vacations, gourmet dinners, brand new cars. And there you are, mindlessly scrolling through your feed, submerged in a thick sea of envy. Why can't I have that? You wonder. What's wrong with me? The answer is infuriating and painful. It's lifestyle creep, the suffocating grip that pulls you into a cycle of never-ending wants, where every moment spent comparing yourself to others feels like yet another nail ceiling shut the coffin of your dignity. And that's where most people get it wrong. They think this path of financial despair is a personal failure. Instead, it's a collective struggle, an invisible epidemic of shame that grips adults like you and me. Perhaps you've made the classic mistake of purchasing that extravagant car, convinced it would elevate your status, only to find it draining your finances dry with monthly payments and maintenance. Or maybe you indulged in a larger home than you could truly afford, succumbing to peer pressure and the allure of impressing others. The truth is, this fear of financial inadequacy is so overwhelmingly potent, it infiltrates multiple corners of your life. It robs you of sleep, steals your joy, and taints your relationships. You find yourself putting on a brave face, but inside, you're crumbling. The silence of your struggle breeding isolation. So, here's the painful truth. No one is coming to save you. The illusion of safety that society has painted around financial security is merely a mirage, a deceptive facade. While you pin your hopes on promotions, unexpected bonuses, or the next big investment, the harsh reality is that without a plan, those dreams slip further away with every passing hour. Time, the one asset you cannot afford to waste, is ticking away. But this unsettling road ahead is not devoid of purpose. That apprehension you feel isn't a flaw, it's a call to action, a spark igniting a deep-rooted need for change. This painful acknowledgement of your current situation is the catalyst for reclaiming your dignity. The journey toward building a dignity fund doesn't require grand wealth. It can begin from absolutely nothing, one carefully considered step at a time. So, if you identified with this nightmare, if you feel that knot in your stomach tightening with each reminder of your financial woes, it's time to fight back. Subscribe now to reclaim your dignity and equip yourself with strategies designed to alter your life's trajectory. The shame must not win. It's time to pivot from fear to financial freedom. You have the power to reverse your fortunes. But first, let's confront the reality of your situation head-on. In this moment of vulnerability, recognize the hidden pain. Acknowledge those sleepless nights spent worrying about bills and the uneaten dinners that linger in your memory. Embrace your experience and understand that the burdens you carry are part of a shared human struggle. The good news: you are not alone, and the solution you seek lies just within your reach, if only you're willing to confront that darkness and step firmly into the light. Take a deep breath. Breathe through the humiliation. Let it serve as your catalyst for change. Your journey to understanding and building your dignity fund begins now. Together, we will uncover the path to financial empowerment and a life untainted by the haunting echoes of shame and fear. Are you ready to take the plunge? Let's begin. The world of finance can often feel like a chaotic storm, swirling around you with debts, interest rates, and social pressures that seem unbearably heavy. In this maelstrom, one figure stands as a beacon of hope and wisdom: Warren Buffett. He isn't just a name associated with gargantuan sums or intricate investment strategies. He's the grandfather saver, a symbol of simplicity and patience in a world riddled with complexity and haste. You see, at the heart of Buffett's approach lies a profound understanding that resonates deeply with the pain so many of us endure. But what he said about debt changed everything. He's known for his unwavering message: stay away from debt. Imagine that for a moment. In a society indoctrinated to believe that debt is a necessary evil, where credit cards are waved like flags of victory and loans are portrayed as tickets to success, Buffett's advice cuts through the noise like a clarion call. Think about your current reality, caught in the clutches of consumer debt, facing the doom of impending payments that loom like dark clouds overhead. His perspective doesn't just highlight a difference in financial strategy, it exposes a fundamental truth about freedom: the freedom from the shackles of constant financial stress. Look, people tend to overcomplicate the simplest of things, he once stated. What if, just what if, the road to your financial dignity can start by embracing that very simplicity? While societies preach complexity, with myriad investment vehicles, intricate budgeting apps, and layered financial jargon, Buffett's wisdom points toward a straightforward principle: live within your means. You've heard it before, but have you truly absorbed it? This isn't just about numbers, it's about mindsets. The swirling chaos in your life, the anxiety, the sleepless nights, the overwhelming feelings of inadequacy. This is not a personal failure. It's a reflection of how easy it is to slip into a lifestyle dictated by desire rather than necessity. This tumultuous dance with debt suffocates not just your bank account, but your very essence. You find yourself overwhelmed, ensnared in a vicious cycle that robs you of the freedom and dignity you so desperately crave. Now let's draw a contrast here. Buffett, who built his fortune meticulously, did not arrive at his multi-billion-dollar empire overnight. Rather, he epitomizes patience in the face of financial adversity. He understands that wealth accrues over time, a snowball effect of small, deliberate actions compounding into something monumental. It's not about timing the market, it's about time in the market, he once said, emphasizing the value of waiting for returns on your investments, a stark deviation from the urgency that society imposes upon us. And that's where most people get it wrong. They're rushing for the quick fix, chasing after instant gratification like moths to a flame, only to be left burned out and broke. You may think that a lavish car or extravagant home will lend you dignity, but in truth, that insatiable need for status only tightens the noose around your neck. You're held hostage by a lifestyle that looks great on the outside but suffocates you from within. So how do we shift this narrative? How do we strip away the layers of chaos and embody the patient persistence that Buffett champions? The answer lies in what I call the Dignity Fund. It's not just another savings plan or financial gimmick. It's a movement toward reclaiming the dignity that has been lost amidst the chaos. Can you imagine a life where the sound of a declining card is a distant memory, where instead of panic, you feel the mundane confidence of knowing you have funds available, ready for you to use or invest? The beauty of building your Dignity Fund is that it starts with something infinitely valuable: your commitment to simplicity and patience. You can start with $0, but the journey doesn't begin with dollar signs. It starts with a shift in mindset. Begin by redefining your relationship with money. See it not as the source of your self-worth, but as a tool for building a life of freedom and dignity. Have you ever heard of the no-debt principle? It's life-changing. You can lose your fears about money if you dare to imagine a path that prioritizes saving over spending. Now close your eyes and picture 2026. Can you see it? In that year, you're not waking up in the middle of the night, heart racing at the thought of money woes. Instead, you're waking up to the soothing reality of having a safety net, your Dignity Fund, sitting comfortably in your accounts. While the world rages on outside, you've fortified yourself against the chaos, enjoying the peace of a well-structured financial landscape. Embarking on this journey isn't merely an economic decision. It's a radical act of self-love. Choosing to prioritize your dignity over fleeting desires takes courage, and it's a testament to your strength, as you navigate the societal pressures that beckon you toward a life of unnecessary debt. Ask yourself, what do you value more? The approval of others, or the tranquility of knowing you are financially empowered? Remember, Warren Buffett didn't get where he is by emulating others or succumbing to liquidity's temptations. He carved his own path through patience and prudence. His extraordinary journey is not a far-off dream. It resonates within your reach, inviting you to take ownership of your financial destiny. Acknowledge that it's your time to break free from the societal hamster wheel of financial chaos. As the dust settles, I hope you find yourself at the intersection of insight and action, ready to face the truths you've long avoided. The path isn't easy, but the wisdom of the grandfather saver guides you forward. Embrace the simplicity, cultivate that patience, and prepare for the remarkable transformation ahead. Your dignity fund isn't just an account, it's a promise to yourself. No more living in the shadows of shame, but stepping into the light of financial freedom. Let's continue this journey together. The brutal truth is staring you in the face, and it's time to confront it without flinching. You must understand that the vast majority of Americans and individuals around the world are navigating a financial quagmire marked by confusion, chaos, and desperation. At the heart of this struggle lies a simple mathematical reality that most people refuse to acknowledge. It's time to dissect the numbers behind your financial failure. Because let's face it, that's what it ultimately boils down to: the math of debt. Have you ever caught yourself glancing at those monthly statements, horrified at the interest charges that seem to compound with the same ferocity as your stress levels? Here's what most don't understand. Debt is not just a number. It's a black hole devouring your dreams and aspirations. With every swipe of your credit card, you're not just making a purchase, you're chaining yourself to a future filled with anxiety and despair. And that brings us to a harrowing statistic. The average American carries over $6,000 in credit card debt, and for many, the sky-high interest rates turn this seemingly manageable amount into a prison sentence. You see, with each month that passes, you're paying not just the debt, but the calculated penalties and fees that ensnare you deeper into chaos. The longer you cling to this cycle, the more insidious it becomes. The truth hurts. The moment you fall into the pattern of debt, you lose control. You are no longer making money, rather money is making you a slave, and that's where most people get it wrong. They assume accumulating wealth means buying luxuries, but true wealth means accumulating assets that work for you, not liabilities that bleed you dry. You have to wake up and fight against this narrative that pressures you into spending more to elevate your status among peers. Do you remember that extravagant coffee you bought this morning? Or that fancy dinner you justified last weekend? It's time to strip away the flimsy layers of social status that form the trap and see them for what they really are: distractions tethered to lifestyle creep. What's this lifestyle creep, you ask? It's the insidious phenomenon where, as your income grows, so do your expenses. You suddenly think you deserve that luxury car loan or that upscale apartment. It starts innocently, with the desire to provide the best for yourself or your family, but over time it morphs into a burdensome weight that limits your options. The more you earn, the more you spend. That's the psychological trick that society pulls on you, buying into the allure of an elevated lifestyle that, in reality, diminishes your freedom. The irony is that many of us are trapped in a cycle that keeps us awake at night, yet so few truly acknowledge it. You find yourself living paycheck to paycheck while feeling the societal pressure to keep up with the Joneses. It's excruciatingly isolating. You compare yourself to those social media influencers whose curated lifestyles seem so enchanting. Vacations on exotic islands, brand new cars parked in fancy driveways, but each post sends you further into despair. You need to realize, as painful as it is, that no one is coming to save you. There are no heroes swooping in to rescue you from this financial mess. Not your parents, not your friends, and certainly not the credit card companies who care about one thing: their interest payments. Are you feeling that knot in your stomach tightening? Your drive for fulfillment has transformed into an anchor that drags you deeper into the abyss of hopelessness. The stakeholders of this system, the corporations, the banks, are not on your side. They thrive on your complacency. They capitalize on your inability to save for your future. The brutal truth is, the longer you put off confronting your financial reality, the more time you lose. Now, as reality sinks in, I want you to take just a moment and breathe. Acknowledge the magnitude of your feelings. That fear, shame, and humiliation, it's not your fault. However, if you intend to change your narrative, it starts with recognizing this flawed system and taking action now. Reject the idea that material possessions confer worth. They don't. Instead, your value is tied to your choices and the foundation of your financial wisdom. This anxiety respects no borders. It spans across cultures, races, and countries. Whether you're watching from the bustling streets of New York City, the sun-soaked beaches of Los Angeles, or a small town halfway around the globe, the fundamental truth remains the same. Debt, consumerism, and social status are shackles we must acknowledge to escape. Write in the comments below which city or country you are watching from. Let's build a community to break free together. You have the power to reshape your financial fate. But first, you must face the brutal diagnosis head-on. It's time to wake up from the delusions that have held you captive. Let go of the fear of judgment. Confront that shame. Freedom comes from taking charge and making conscious decisions about how you spend, save, and ultimately live. No more wishing for a savior or waiting for better days to arrive. The only person that can turn the tide is you. Start shifting your focus away from status and towards sustainability. This is your moment to take ownership, break free from the chains of debt, and begin rebuilding your dignity, starting with a single step towards the Dignity Fund. Let's confront the numbers, unveil the truth, and reclaim your financial future together. Are you ready to take that leap? Let's keep going. You've faced the harsh realities of your financial situation, and now it's time to take action. Welcome to the Battle Plan, where we arm you with the tactical solutions designed to build your Dignity Fund, the lifeline that will not only restore your sense of freedom, but also reshape your financial destiny. The path to reclaiming your dignity doesn't demand extravagance. It starts with a commitment to making tough decisions and a willingness to change your life, starting from $0. Let's dive into the pillars of this plan, the non-negotiable foundations that will transform your financial landscape. The first step is crucial: the Dignity Fund itself. This isn't just a savings account. This is your fortress built against the storms of financial despair. And that's where most people get it wrong. They underestimate the power of a simple savings fund, thinking that they need thousands to make a difference. The truth is, even small amounts add up over time when you commit to the process. Pillar 1. Create your Dignity Fund. To initiate your Dignity Fund, start small. Set a specific goal, even just $100. Yes, it sounds minimal, but the key is to make it a habit. Automate this process. Open a separate savings account dedicated solely to this purpose and set up an automatic transfer from your checking account. Even if you start with $10 a week, you're already on the path to freedom. But then, the unexpected happened. Once your fund accumulates, you'll begin to feel empowered, as if each dollar is a brick reinforcing the walls of your fortress against financial insecurity. Now here's where the real transformational power lies. You must vow to contribute to this fund aggressively. Are you ready to hear the painful truth? You must make sacrifices. Cut back your spending by identifying non-essential items. Maybe reduce your dining out or skip that daily latte. What's the price of convenience? Consider that every purchase you forgo is money going straight to your Dignity Fund. Be a Pillar 2, the No Debt Pact. Next comes the No Debt Pact, a promise to yourself that no new debt will be incurred. This isn't merely a suggestion, it's a declaration of your independence from the chains of consumerism. Let's face it, you need a radical change in mindset surrounding credit cards and loans. And that's where most people misfire. They treat credit cards like extensions of their income when in truth, they're endless liabilities that push you further from freedom. To execute this pact, cut those credit cards. Okay, yes, physically cut them up. Feel that sting of loss? Good. Let it resonate as a reminder of what you're forging ahead to achieve. You can't build dignity while shackled to debt. Begin relying on cash or a debit card, ensuring that you're spending only what you actually have. Challenge yourself to embrace a lifestyle free from debt. It's crucial to create rules around spending. Establish a strict budget. Assess your monthly income and prioritize expenses. Will you allocate a portion for groceries, essentials, and a small amount for recreation? Sure, but ensure there's always a slot reserved for your Dignity Fund. Every single month, stick to this budget. No excuses. Every time you hit that budget mark, take a moment to visualize the freedom that's unfolding before you. Pillar 3. The compound interest discipline. The third pillar is something Buffett himself knows all too well, the magic of compound interest. You might be scratching your head thinking, but I don't have money to invest. Well, that's precisely why this pillar is pivotal. Start by investing in small increments. Once you've built your dignity fund to a healthy amount, let's say $1,000, keep that money as a safety net, but start investing. Look for low-cost index funds that align with your risk tolerance. But listen closely. This isn't about overnight riches. It's about planting seeds for your future. As you invest, ensure you reinvest those earnings, allowing them to compound. Visualize this process as rolling snowballs down a hill, gathering mass as they journey, transforming into a powerful force over time. You're not simply saving, you're cultivating wealth. And that's where most people miss the point, thinking investing is only for the wealthy. Investing doesn't need to be intimidating nor exclusive. Start small with micro-investing apps if necessary. Challenge yourself to learn about these simple strategies. Each bit of knowledge acquired adds to the strength of your financial defenses. Pillar 4. Assess your lifestyle. Now let's address something equally crucial: the lifestyle changes that will propel you toward building your dignity fund. Look critically at your current lifestyle. What expenses are truly necessities? This phase will require brutal honesty. Ask yourself, is that car payment essential, or does the status justify the cost? Consider selling your car if it's too much of a financial burden. Replace it with public transportation or a cheaper vehicle. Are you feeling that tightening grip of fear? Understand that freedom often necessitates making hard choices. Minimize unnecessary subscriptions. Count how many streaming services you have. Do you really need them all? Perhaps it's wise to unsubscribe from a few and redirect that money to your dignity fund. You can do this. Again, at the end of each month, review your spending. Did you stick to your budget? Adjust as necessary. Celebrate small victories. And remember, this isn't punishment. It's liberation from financial slavery. Every light bulb moment, every dime saved, brings you closer to financial dignity. In this phase of action, remember that these aren't just steps. This is your battle plan for reclaiming your freedom. You have the power within you to build a fortress against financial despair. Embrace the discomfort of change and celebrate the strength you will discover in these new habits. Your dignity fund is waiting for you, ready to restore your sense of worth and offer you the peace of mind you crave. The time is now. Step into this journey with determination. Each choice you make propels you forward, so dig in, cut the chains of debt, and build with intention. You've got this, and your future self will thank you. Now let's keep that momentum going and prepare to face the next critical steps on this transformative journey. As you begin this transformative journey toward financial dignity, it's essential to equip yourself with not only the tactical tools we've discussed, but also the mental resilience to weather the storms of envy, judgment, and social pressure. Because let me tell you something crucial. This path isn't just about numbers, it's about mental fortitude. Imagine walking through your neighborhood, filled with the echoes of laughter and the sounds of life going on around you. You notice your neighbor's shiny new cars parked in the driveway and the visible signs of luxury that make your heart sink. And that's where most people get it wrong. They see those things and immediately feel inadequate, comparing their lives to those glittering snapshots of success. But don't let that bait pull you in. Your journey is no contest with theirs. Instead, it's an intimate battle with your internal struggles. Breathe deeply. Each inhale should remind you of your goals, and every exhale should release that crippling fear of judgment. You must recognize that your strides toward building a dignity fund are radical acts of self-love, choices made for your future, rather than succumbing to fleeting desires. So how do you armor yourself against the insidious whispers of envy? It starts with framing your mindset. Think of your neighbor's luxury car as a mirage, a temporary illusion that doesn't define your worth. You are marching toward a greater victory, a life that grants you freedom from the chains of debt, not just a parade of visual status. And that's where most people falter. They surrender their self-worth to societal norms, believing they need to keep up, to show others they belong. Let's face it, people may raise eyebrows and cast judgment. But do you know who cares deeply about your financial health? Only you. It's in your hands to look beyond the surface. They might flaunt their luxuries, but behind closed doors many are struggling, drowning in the very debts that seem glamorous from afar. Remember, your mental pivot begins with disengaging from those surfaces. Weigh the value of financial dignity over visual status. Visualize a brighter future in 2026. But before we get there, let's talk reality. What if you could face these neighbors and friends not with envy or shame, but with confidence and pride in your financial choices? Picture feeling settled on a serene Saturday morning, your heart light, knowing that your dignity fund is steadily growing. The burdens you once carried, the anxiety of sleepless nights, the stress of overdue bills, are now shadows of your past. Can you hear that future echoing in your mind? It reverberates through the house with laughter and warmth. You wake up not to the dread of financial worries, but to the truth that you have cultivated enough for peace. The phone isn't buzzing with urgent payment reminders. Instead, it rests quietly, a tool rather than a source of chaos. And that's where most people get it wrong. They let finance rule their minds instead of making mindful financial decisions that rule their lives. You remember the feeling of standing at your window, cups of coffee steaming, with your loved ones gathered in the living room, sharing stories, dreaming of travel or simple joys, rather than fretting over what bills are due next. This is the vision that guides you. The serene life you can create, a life filled with dignity rather than despair. Picture yourself confidently walking into a restaurant with friends, knowing you can cover your share without the pit of anxiety forming in your stomach. The joy of those moments is invaluable, far surpassing the superficial thrills of an extravagant car. But let's be honest, staying grounded isn't always easy. Social media, friends, neighbors, it all creates a pressure cooker of expectations. The lure of excess and envy can creep in even after you've committed to this path. And that's exactly why it's essential to prepare your mental armor. Every time you catch yourself drifting into thoughts of inadequacy, remind yourself of why you're doing this. Say it out loud if you need to. I am building my future, my dignity, one step at a time. There will be days when you feel that familiar tang of jealousy bubble up when scrolling through social media. The solution? Step away. Unplug for a while. Rewire your mind to focus on your goals instead of someone else's highlight reel. You see, scrolling mindlessly can lead to a spiral of despair, a quicksand that sucks you deeper into self-doubt. Instead, take that energy and channel it into your dignity fund. Every moment you spend focusing on others' lives is precious time you can invest in crucial self-development. You can read finance books, watch motivational videos, or reinforce your commitment to saving. Remember, the mindset of growth is a muscle. The more you practice it, the stronger it becomes. Surround yourself with uplifting influences, an encouraging community that understands your journey. Engage with others on the same path, whether in person or through social media groups where discussions about empowerment and financial dignity abound. Navigating the temptations that societal pressures bring isn't just part of your growth, it's central to redefining how you measure success. When you adhere to your principles to save rather than spend, every decision becomes an act of sovereignty over your finances, a step closer to the vision of tranquility you're cultivating for 2026. Can you see it now? The days when your worries no longer dwell on payments but instead create time for exploration and investing in lifelong memories. Your dignity fund won't just be a source of pride, it will serve as a sanctuary where your dreams take root, nourished by stability. As you embark on this life-changing journey, remind yourself to check in regularly. Acknowledge your progress, no matter how small. Every deposit, every choice toward frugality brings you closer to the destination of peace. Your future does not hold the clutter and chaos of financial turmoil. It is a calm harbor anchored by your conscious choices and empowered decisions. Financial dignity is yours for the taking, so prepare for the future that awaits. As you stand on the brink of this transformation, keep your vision close and embrace it fiercely. You are building the framework for a fulfilling financial life, a reality where dignity reigns supreme and envy loses its grip. Your journey has just begun, and you once were lost, but now you're on the path to financial dignity, filled with hope and determination. Let that vision propel you forward. As we stand here at the precipice of transformation, let us take this moment to reflect on the journey you have undertaken. You've navigated the murky waters of financial despair, peeling back layers of shame, pride, and societal pressures. These steps weren't just strategies, they are the building blocks of your new life, a life anchored in respect, dignity, and clarity. But with all transformational journeys, there comes a time when you must make a choice, and that's where most people hesitate. They linger in the shadows, fearful of the unknown, willing to cling to the narratives woven by society that bind them. Don't be one of those people. The decisions you make today, the way you respond to your financial reality, is where your new life begins. Imagine for a moment standing at a crossroads. On one side, the path paved with familiar comforts, filled with the toxic temptations of instant gratification. You know what this road holds. More sleepless nights, more shame, and more feelings of inadequacy. But then there is the other path, the one illuminated by your newly acquired knowledge. A road filled with the promise of self-empowerment, resilience, and a chance to rebuild your dignity from the ground up. It's time for an ultimatum. What kind of life do you want to lead? Do you want to languish under the weight of obligation, fear, and the chains of consumerism? Or will you choose to embrace your power, rise up, and cultivate your dignity fund, starting from zero? You see, freedom is not handed to you. It demands courage and accountability. It calls for commitment to the principles you've unearthed, staying away from debt, committing to the dignity fund, and allowing compounding to work its magic in your favor. No matter your starting point, your journey can lead to a life that flourishes beyond what you previously thought was possible. But the choice has to come from you. As you sit with this ultimatum, take a moment to acknowledge the natural feelings coursing through you right now. There's urgency, excitement, maybe even a flutter of anxiety. Good. That's the pressure of potential, the ember waiting to ignite into flame. Perhaps you're feeling overwhelmed by the time and sacrifices you'll have to make along the way. Understand this. Building a foundation for your financial dignity is not a race. It's a marathon. You must equip yourself with patience and discipline, qualities that Warren Buffett himself practiced to achieve great heights. Here's the cold, hard truth. There will be slip-ups, failures, and moments where you question your resolve. And that's okay. That, too, is part of the journey. What matters is your resolve to keep moving forward, to keep the flame of financial dignity alive in your heart. Remind yourself constantly of the image of yourself in 2026, a serene, empowered version of yourself who has left behind fear after committing to this journey. But how do we get there? It starts with taking your commitment and transforming it into actionable steps. The Dignity Fund isn't just a dream. It's built through day-to-day choices that echo your dedication to reclaiming your life and fostering a sense of empowerment. Each dollar saved, every budget adhered to, every temptation resisted, is a significant victory igniting the kindness you owe yourself. In that intimate moment of accountability, the external noise will fade away. You will silence the whispers of judgment, envy, and shame. Remember, your worth is not determined by possessions displayed or status achieved. It's deeply rooted in what you build within yourself. And that's where most people get it wrong. They align value with materialism rather than the strength of their decisions and the vision for their future. Take a moment to consider what it would feel like to free yourself from that burden. Feel the lightness that comes from knowing that your worth is intrinsic, stemming from your choices, your resilience, your ability to transform. Now, let me leave you with a thought from Buffett, a quote that resonates deeply with the truths we've unraveled. The most important investment you can make is in yourself. What does that mean for you? It means investing your time, energy, and commitment to follow through on your financial journey, to respect the values that lift you while casting off the weights that restrain you. As you walk this path, remember that each day is an opportunity to reinforce the resilience you're building. Hold on tightly to your ambition, your desire for dignity, compassion for yourself and your choices, and the vision of the future you seek. So, accept this ultimatum: to transform your narrative, reclaim your dignity, and embrace the financial wisdom that can lead you toward a brighter tomorrow. Thank you for sharing your time, your energy, and your aspirations with me today. This journey is profound, and I honor the strength it takes to confront your fears and express your vulnerabilities. Now, as you turn your gaze toward the future, affirm your commitment to becoming the architect of your destiny. Let that unwavering truth be the guiding light that propels you forward. Let it be the beacon you follow, even when the path feels unsteady. Your world has been shifted. Now strive to keep it in motion. Thank you for embarking on this voyage of self-discovery and empowerment. Your honor lies in the choices you make today, which will pave the way for the life you aspire to lead. Let the echoes of your determination resonate long after these words fade away. Here's to your journey, your rebirth,